Tom, welcome to you. And kind of where would you have us start? I mean, as you wake up and think through all of these issues, is it the 10-year that still matters first and foremost?
Hey, Kelly. So on the whole Fed independence 10-year thing, I think the market is telling us that they don't think this is a big deal. I'm actually a little bit surprised about that. I don't actually think the Fed independence has changed that much, just because there was so much called into question the way Trump has been jawboning in the past. But I do think this general cap on interest rate, regulate healthcare, all of this stuff, let alone the tariffs from last year, that is an overhang that's going to discourage investment going forward, potentially among corporates. So that's kind of the angle that I would be a little bit concerned about. But maybe it's just a tempest in the teapot, and that's certainly what the market is saying right now.
So in other words, while the bigger issue would seem to be Fed independence, you say, it's kind of echoing a little bit of what Larry said. Let's see how much, more there is to the story, how much further this really goes. And if it's not much further, then you would direct everyone's attention to some of these moves to cap interest rates. There's been some talk about, stopping defense firms from doing stock buybacks and that kind of thing. And you think that could actually hamper the market. Is that right?
Yeah, just that overall sense of uncertainty, I think, discourages investment, and that's bad for the economy and bad for the market. I think putting aside the AI trade, which sort of moved to the beat of its own drum. I kind of actually believe the narrative that the president didn't plan this, just because I don't quite see his motivation to do it from a game theory point of view. I think one of the things he wants to do is make sure Powell leaves the board after his term as chair expires, and this almost seems like something that would have the opposite effect. We've seen how Powell reacted. I think this might make him want to do a John Adams and stay in Congress in that case after his term as president expired.
So we've got Caesar and John Adams so far, which tells you what kind of day this is for investors to contemplate. Your top holdings include Microsoft, Lam Research, Alphabet, Meta, Apple, all the names we were just discussing, plus a few more outside of that trade. But, is this a rally that you think, even with those concerns about populism that you mentioned, it sounds like you view those concerns as more on the margin than affecting kind of the major planks of the rally?
Yeah, for the kind of companies that you mentioned that are on the top of our list, I think we've been, and those companies have been benefiting from the broadening of the AI trade we've seen over the last year. And the semiconductor equipment stocks in particular, like Lam, have been really strong this year. And then we saw TSMC's sales numbers last week. I expect that'll be reconfirmed with their earnings later in the week. So things seem very strong there right now with, as we've seen, a change in leadership.
Let's put up the NVIDIA chart, because you actually have such a strong take on the market. You say we like the chip stocks, not NVIDIA theme. So don't beat up on them too much, but I think they can handle it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say so much that we don't like NVIDIA. We just think there are better ways of playing it. I think if we went back a year ago, people thought of NVIDIA as synonymous with AI CapEx, and it was all going to NVIDIA. And as that went, NVIDIA would rake in all the profits. And we've seen, Alphabet's ecosystem really coming back into the fore. We've seen them through Gemini itself, of course, but also through selling their TPUs, partnering now with Apple with Gemini. It's really become kind of a two-horse race between NVIDIA's world and Alphabet's world, and that's a change. And I think that's a change that has some legs. So I see kind of the relative leadership that we saw in the fourth quarter continuing throughout the year. We said we like Broadcom, we like Alphabet, but in a way you can have your cake and eat it too, because if you are uncertain about NVIDIA versus Broadcom, you can say, screw it. They both build their chips at TSMC, and TSMC buys their equipment from Lam and ASML.
I love it.
So those are the true arms dealers.
Yeah.